Hello friends, welcome for the lecture series of Industrial Engineering for the preparation of AMVI Mains examination. We are discussing the different topics of the industrial engineering like different types of production processes, process planning, plant layouts, and currently we are talking about the work study. So as told earlier, work study is basically a combination of two different segments. That is, first one is method study and second is work measurement. Out of that, in previous two lectures we discussed about the different charts, diagrams which are the part of method study, and now in this lecture we are going to discuss about the work measurement. So basically, work measurement is the measurement of the time required for a worker to complete a specific job or a task at the some particular level of performance. So it's a simply time measurement technique in which the time is measured for a specific job for the particular level of performance. So that is the exact meaning of the work measurement. So the objective of work measurement or measurement of this time is that the first thing to reduce or eliminate the non-productive time, because by observing the actual requirement of the time or by studying the time required for a particular job, we can reduce down or eliminate the non-productive time, and work can be completed in a specific or limited period of time. Even by using this particular technique, one can decide a standard or fixed time to perform the particular job, and that particular time can be considered as a standard time, and that is used for referring or for comparison of the time required by the another person to complete the same job. So rating can be done by using the standard of fixed time, or else by using this time measurement techniques, methods can be improved. Because if suppose more time is required for the methods that are currently in use, so another methods which may take less time but gives similar output can be used. So there is a possibility of improving methodology also. So that are the benefits or the objectives of this work measurement. To do this, there are certain kind of techniques or the methods, and these are these basic ways which are used for the work measurement. The first is a stopwatch time study, then production study, work sampling or a ratio delay study, synthesis from standard data, analytical estimating, and predetermined motion time system, or sometimes it is called as a PMTS. Now let's understand this each and every techniques in detail. Now, in the first technique, that is stopwatch time study, these are the common steps that are generally followed. Now, out of this, the first is selecting a job. So, the job is selected for which work measurement is to be carried out. Now, sometimes the job may be a new job, or if suppose methodology is to be changed, or if one wants to change the methodology, then that time also same job can be considered for the analysis. Or if suppose for the particular job cost of the operation is for getting very high, so to reduce that cost by considering or by reducing the or eliminating the time required to perform the job, that time also that job can be considered for the stopwatch time study. Second part is the recording the specification. Now in this step, product name, product number, specifications, machines, equipment, tools, whatever the required conditions are there, that conditions are recorded, because these conditions are going to contribute for deciding the time required. Each and every parameter will support for the time required to perform the particular job. Now to calculate the time at once, or to calculate the time for all this entire operation, is very difficult. So instead of that, the general procedure followed is examining each element separately. So mostly what happened, operation is divided into number of elements or the number of stages for the easy observation and for accurate measurement, and then these elements are observed separately with respect to the time parameters. Next step is measuring the time by using stopwatch. Now basically to measure the time there are two different methods. One is a flyback method and another is a cumulative method. Now in flyback method, once the time is recorded for the particular stage, stopwatch is again reset to the zero, and then next time for the next particular part the time is recorded once again. And in case of the cumulative method, it is recorded cumulatively entirely, and then the time required for each segment is subtracted accordingly. So it is a cumulative way. So basically there are two ways: flyback method and cumulative method. Next part is assessing the rating factor, because a rating is supposed to be given to the particular worker, as the efficiency of each and every worker is not going to be same. So particular worker can do the same job in a 10 minutes, but a less efficient worker can do the same job in a 20 minutes. So that time we cannot compare the both the things on the same platform. So working efficiency rating or the assessment rating factor is given depending on the performance of the worker. And considering all these things, basic time is calculated by considering assessment factors, then step by stage recording, and then by considering allowances, because a single worker or the worker cannot work continuously. So he will require time for the rest, for the getting the drinking water, for toilet, or maybe sometimes there are unavoidable delays because of the tool breakage or machine breakdown. So that allowances are added to the basic time, and then standard time is compiled, and that is actually the exact time which is considered for the work measurement. Here allowances can be different: rest allowance, process allowance, contingency allowance, policy allowance, or special allowance also. So these allowances are added to the basic time, and then standard time is calculated by considering basic time and the different types of allowances. So these are the steps under the stopwatch time study. Second technique is the production study. Basically, production study is carried out to check the accuracy of the original time study, and it is a longer process. It may take a half a day or even a single day also, because mostly what happens in a regular or stopwatch study, the occasional elements are not considered, generally like a tool grinding, tool settings. So it also takes some times. So these elements are not considered there. So these elements are considered in this production study also. So it will just check the accuracy of the that standard time which we are received through the stopwatch study by considering this all the time required for the occasional elements also. So this is a like checking the accuracy of the standard time. Now, in case of ratio delay study, where there are long cycle operations, or where the activities whereby time study is not possible, there this ratio delay study is carried out. So if time study is not possible, then this ratio delay study is carried out, whereby the ratio of delay time and working time to the total time of activity is calculated, which is done by using the random observations. So basically it is not a regular process or the regular practice. Mostly for long cycle operations, or when there is a time study is not possible, then only this ratio delay study is carried out. Now the next one is the synthesis from the standard data. Now in this case, the synthesis is of work measurement technique are carried out. Just it is done by totaling the elemental times. So whatever the elemental time are received through the observation or through the stopwatch study, that's elemental times are added together, and the standard time is calculated. Now in these various other common elements are also considered, because while calculating the standard time, basically two different types of elements are there. These elements are classified in constant elements and variable elements. Constant elements are that elements which are repetitive, like time for starting and stopping the machine. So it is a repetitive task and it needs to be considered. And the variable elements are the elements which varies with the speed, feed and depth of cut. So in case of constant element, these here also time is required to be considered. In case of variable elements, time actually varies with the speed, feed and depth of cut. So these both the parameters are considered in formulating the standard data, and the data bank is created by considering all these factor. Now this data bank consists of the standard data required to, or the standard time required to complete the particular task. Now it may consist of tabulated standard time for constant elements, then charts and graphs and formulas, whereby all this synthesis can be done easily. Now, generally, setting the time standards for long and non-repetitive operation by stopwatch method is quite difficult, and it is uneconomical also when there are long and non-repetitive operations or the non-repetitive type jobs. Now in such cases the stopwatch type methods are not good to follow. Then in this case like synthesis method or analytical estimating is followed instead of following the regular methods. So in these techniques basically the data is analyzed. The data generally required is obtained by using the synthesis technique, or maybe if synthetic data is not available or standard data is not available, then depending on the past experience of the estimator, this can be also carried out. But in that case, estimator must be thorough with the sufficient experience of estimating, motion study, time study, or synthesizing the time standards. So if he is good with that, then the past experience of the estimator also used for the analytical estimating. But if sometimes a standard data or a synthesized data is available, then that data is used. Generally, it is followed for long and non-repetitive operations. And this is the last technique, that is a predetermined motion time system. Now this is a quite different system, whereby rather than going for standard time, in this case while deciding the time, the human motions are used to decide the time required for the at the specific level of performance. So according to the nature of the motion and the conditions under which that job is performed or under that job is processed, that factors are considered here, and accordingly only standard time is decided rather than going for the stopwatch type methods. So generally the different types of concepts are used for this PMTS technique, like basic motion time technique, motion time analysis, work factor system, or method time measurement, and dimensional motion time. So these are some of the techniques that used for the predetermined motion time system. So these are some of the techniques which are required for the work measurement. Work measurement, if we want to summarize, it is nothing but simply estimating the time required to perform the particular job, that too depending upon the or the level of the performance of the worker. And for that different techniques are used, sometimes synthesis, sometimes analysis, sometimes by using stopwatch, or the by using basic motions of the basic human motions. So these are the some of the techniques which are required for the work measurement. Now, here are some couple of the questions from this work study unit, because we saw different topics under this work study. First of all, we discussed about the method study, then different types of charts, diagrams, and then work measurement. So combinedly, it is a wide area, basically work study, which comprises all these things. So these are the some of the questions from which are asked generally from this work study category. The first question is, the primary function of which of these options is to produce a record of an existing set of conditions, so that job of seeing what is actually taking place is made as simple as possible. So very simple question is that which of this diagram or chart is used to produce a record of existing set of conditions, so that job of observing what is actually happening is carried out. Now, if you see the options, the first is flow diagram, whereby the flow of material is observed, like flow of material, flow of the worker, or flow of the machine. And in case of operation process chart, different operations, the sequence of operation is observed or under study. And in case of string diagram, whereby the existing set of condition, the existing set of layout is exactly copied on the diagram to the scale, and then the movement of that particular thing is shown by using the strings. So if his particular worker is moving, or particular material is moving from machine to storage, from machine to another cabin or another location, so that movements are shown by the different colored strings. So here in the string diagram, one can observe, or simply a simple view will be there, whereby one can get what is actually happening in that particular plant, and that too with the existing set of conditions. So the correct answer is the string diagram. Flow diagram will show the flow of material or the worker. Operation process chart will show the operation process or the sequence of the operations. But string diagram will show what is actually happening at the base level. So option 2 is the correct option. That is the string diagram. Second is the basic purpose of multiple activity chart is. So one thing you will have to understand, that multiple activity chart is also known as man machine chart. And in case of man machine chart, there are some conditions, like basically two conditions are there. Maybe there one worker is working on multiple setups or on the multiple machines, or the group of workers or the group of laborers are working on a single job. So they are working on a single task in a group. So there may be a number of systems or number of workers, and that activities are described in the multiple activity chart or man machine chart. So the operation options are: organize a team of operatives on mass production work, record activities of hands in relation to one another, record the timing of each activity, and design the equipment. So if you see the another three options, second, third, and fourth, second is recording activities of hand. So it is right hand and left hand type chart. Recording the timing of each activity is not part of the activity chart, and designing of the equipment is also not. So the first one, where the organize the team of operatives on mass production work, because in case of mass production only these two possibilities are possible. Which possibilities? The first possibility that the first possibility is that in case of mass production work, the first possibility is that a particular single worker is working on a different machine. So it happens when there is a huge production, or else a group of workers are working on a single task, so or the single job. So when there is a huge requirement, then only these two possibilities are possible. So this option 1 is the correct answer for the basic purpose of multiple activity chart. The basic purpose is to organize a team of operatives on the mass production work. A simple mass production work, that word or that particular 2 3 words will show the exact answer for this particular question. So option 1 is the correct option. So that's what about the work study. So work study is basically uh, having so many details or so many types and subtypes, subtopics uh, in the category of method study, in the category of work measurement for different types of charts and diagrams. So if you know the basic understanding, or if you know the basic applications or the objectives of that particular every topic, then answers can be given easily. Because generally objectives or the aim of that particular diagram or chart or the work measurement technique will satisfy all the types of requirements from that. So understand the objectives of that particular method and answers can be given easily. So that's it for the this topic. Thank you so much for connecting with me for this industrial engineering journey. Let's learn some more topics in this industrial engineering in the upcoming sessions. Also, do not forget to like and share our Facebook page, and subscribe our YouTube channel. Let's learn and grow together. Thank you so much.